What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to do one of my personal favorites, which is the book of the month, selections of the month. For those that don't know, this is my favorite book subscription service ever, of all time, because every month they put out a new book that's a new release in hardback by unique authors, and it's all different genres. You can find memoirs, you can find horror, thriller, contemporary, romance. You can find fantasy. There's like all the genres you can think of, it's going to be in this selection pool. And the great thing about this service is that they're literally looking through all of the new releases that are coming out, handpicking what they feel are the best ones, giving you a little synopsis of each one, and then selling you hardback bound book of the month books at a wonderful price. The subscription itself is $15.99, I believe, once you've been on the roll for a while. And then after that, it's $9.99 for any add-ons. You can choose to order up to 5 books per month. So this just happens to be the March box that came out. I know, I agree with the happy hand. I don't know why it shows up. It just randomly pops up on my Mac, and I so apologize for that. That being said, my name is Jaya. Hello. Welcome to the channel. I do all book related content on this channel with some randomness in between every now and then. This month's randomness and this video's randomness is actually going to be in relation to a new company that I discovered called Velvet Caviar. Velvet Caviar is a company that does phone cases, and they're just too cute. They also do bundle sales, so you can choose to buy a bundle, which is about $125, and they sell you the phone case, the phone battery pack that just is a mag charger. Then they also have the wallets, like the magnet wallets that you can put on the back of the phone, a little like charm as well, and then also ring holders, etc. And it's really, really nice. This is a random tangent that has nothing to do with books, but I thought I would share with you guys. So they were having a spring sale right now on the Velvet Caviar website, and it was 20% off with the code SPRING. And so I ended up getting a bunch of different sets. Isn't this the cutest thing you've ever seen? Look at the little coffees. I love it. They also have this in theme of the phone cases, as well as AirPod cases, MacBook covers, all kinds of things. So whatever you want. And then I love the fact that it comes with this little charm that says coffee please on it. And I absolutely adore it. And it comes in so handy to just walk around and be typing on your phone. They also sell privacy screens. So, now you see me, now you don't kind of vibes, which is great. And I love that. Keeping it a little bit more secure. I also ended up picking a few other ones. This one was actually sent to me for free, this case. And so I wanted to get something to go with it. And this was the fun little charm that I picked with it. This one is a little bit different in terms of how I hook it onto my wrist. I might actually move this to the bottom, but I just kind of liked this being at the top. And then the little card case holder I thought was really cute with the black as well. And then I also got this lovely dream one, which is so cute. And I love this theme. It's just so cute. I love the little moons and the pretty clouds, just so precious. And then I ended up getting their Playboy bunny charm, but I just thought this was so cute and still went with the vibes. And I just love the pink and the little bunny on it. And then last but not least, I got this one, which is a collection of random eclecticness. To tie it all together, we have the little charm on the side, which has the pearls, and it has the beautiful little teddy bear, which is just, oh my God, so precious. I love the little teddy bear. And then the back of this case is actually this beautiful theme as well. And I absolutely adore this. It's very cowboy girl chic. And for those who don't know, I was originally born and raised in Texas, so I'm obsessed with that. And then I got this little magnetic clip to go with it just because of the teddy bears and the romance, and I love the black and pink together. And so just like that, it snaps on. You can adjust it as needed, and voila, you have a wallet and a phone case all together. So I did spend a decent amount of money on all of these put together. I want to say it was about $160 for 4 cases, and the little magnet things and the charms because of the promotion code. So would definitely recommend checking that out if you're in the market for a new phone case. I also have quite a few other phone cases from Casetify that I absolutely love as well. But in general, I'm one of those girls that likes to change out my phone cases quite regularly. Not so much the phone, but definitely the phone case, just to make it feel a little bit different, a little bit unique and more fun. And so I try to have one for every month of the year. I know I'm a crazy person, but that's what we're going with. And this is the iPhone 14 Pro, so I don't see myself changing this out anytime soon. Oh, also wanted to share my little nails with you guys. My nail lady went all out this time, and I am so obsessed with how cute these are. She did all of this from scratch, painted everything out, all of the details she did, and I'm just obsessed with my little mushroom nails, and I was looking for something that felt very spring, and this was the vibes, so I'm feeling it. Feeling it. So without further ado, let's get into the actual video that you guys actually came here to watch, which is the book of the month video. So let's jump into that. So this month I actually got quite a few books off of the website. And at some point in here, I will also add in a clip just kind of going through what book of the month actually looks like, what the website looks like, what was available online. And then you guys can definitely take a peek at that and see if the website, the layout, and the subscription is something that you guys feel interested in. They have promos all the time for your first month to only be $5 for a box. So if you ever want to just test it out, that's a great way to do it. They also allow you to offer it as a gift to people, so you can definitely buy a subscription for someone and cover a certain number of books. So guys, here is the book of the month website. So you can see here on March book availabilities that you do have the hardcovers listed. So you can see Count My Lies, which is my selection for the month. And then you also had a few other options here. So we had Fantasy, which was our Infinite Fates, which is about a curse and an enemies to lovers journey through multiple lifetimes. I felt like this was very Cloud Atlas vibes. So if that's something that strikes your fancy, could be a good option for you. There was also a new contemporary fiction called Liquid, which is basically a cerebral debut. I thought that was a really interesting choice word. So provocative cerebral debut, a witty academic fed up with the adjunct lifestyle embarks on a plan to marry rich. So I thought that was really interesting. So if you're doing your PhD, or if you're in, the throes of school, or, in any situation where you feel like you're academically exhausted and you are currently sunk deep in that world, this might be a good option. Then we have Wild Dark Shore, which is a contemporary fiction author. The nice thing about this is that the author is a repeat author. Contemporary novel by a repeat author is what I was trying to say. And you can see that every single one of these, they have like a fancy little color code on the side if it looks like it's a debut author or a repeat author. And sometimes they have like a three-peat and like a four-peat, basically indicating how many times the author has been repeated on the website. So that's another fun little fact. We also have the memoir, which was Care and Feeding, which was the one that I ended up selecting as well for the March books. Then at the top here, you'll notice there's a bunch of different tabs. But before we go into that, I just want to show you guys the audiobooks as well. So if you do click on the audiobooks tab, wait, what just happened? Sorry guys, give me one sec. So if you click on the audiobook section, you can also see that they do have various audiobooks versions of these books. So Wild Dark Shore happens to be on audiobook already, but also available as a physical copy. You also have Our Infinite Fates, Liquid, Count My Lies, and Care and Feeding, which are all the other books for this month on audio. You also have books from the previous month, such as Famous Last Words as well. And then if you go up here in the corner to all books, you'll see that, like it says, all the top books are in one spot. Now you can always search an author or browse a title to see if it pops up in the infinite selection of books that they have. But you can see here that there's a section called Spotlight. So if you click the view all for Spotlight, these are books that they recommend that you read that are new selections. However, you don't have to purchase them, but these are usually Spotlight titles that are relevant to other books that have been released or are being released and are options for you to reconsider. Scythe and Sparrow was one of the books that I also selected last month, and this was probably one of my favorite things to receive in the mail because it is the third book in the Ruinous Love trilogy series, and I finally get a chance to read it, which was exciting. And I love the fact that I have all three of the books from Book of the Month, so the spines and the covers and everything match. B.K. Borison is obviously a fan favorite, so if you were ever interested in checking out something new by her, that's there. Bloodmarked is part of a series, so on and so forth. And then if you jump back to the main page, then you have your Lolly finalists, which is what I was talking about earlier. You also have new and recent add-ons. So you can see here that under Spotlight, you have a Cara Bastone book, and then now you have new and recent add-on also being Cara Bastone. These are books that they think you might be interested in, but didn't quite make the cut to be one of the selections for the month. So that's another place to find books that you might be interested in. You can see that Oathbound is over here as well, which is part of the Legendborn cycle series. Watermoon is here. This is one of the books that I was talking about. And then You Between the Lines is also over here. I have already received Rebel Witch and Kingdom of Claw, which are the sequels to other series books that were initially introduced to me through this website. You also have A Sea of Unspoken Things, which is the new Adrienne Young book that came out. So you can see there's a little bit of everything for everybody. Then from there, you have Women's History Month, since, you know, we just celebrated that recently. You also have all the March selections, and then you have the last month selections, the most loved that have shown up throughout the course of the past years. So if you ever wanted to get your hands on one of those are also available to you. And then you have debut authors on the main page. Now, outside of that, you can also choose to select by a genre. So should you be interested in that, when you do your search, you can also see that they have the book emojis that you can select through, as well as the genres, as well as tags. So if you click on any of these things, it's going to show you all the books that fall under that category. So as you can see, there's a little bit of something for everyone. And on the off chance that you don't want any of the books that they're recommending, you can always choose to skip. Your credit is always saved and you can use it at a later date, and it will allow you to roll the credit over. So it's not going to keep charging you for credits until you use the credit. So that's another great thing about Book of the Month. So in every book of the month, you get a bunch of books, and then you also get a cute little bookmark that they do every month. And in this particular one, they did a Don't Leave Me in Here bookmark. This was submitted by Megan C. in Lexington, Indiana, who's been a member since 2019. Which is kind of exciting. As far as these bookmarks go, they're great to like travel with, or to just keep in whatever book you're reading at the time. And then if you lose them, it's not that big a deal because you're literally getting new ones every month, which is really great. Also, every year, if you're a member and you become a BFF of Book of the Month, they actually do a voting every year to see what the top book choice of all of the readers throughout the year have selected. And this month, there were 5 books that got nominated for the potential Lolly. And that would be The God of the Woods, The Lion Women of Tehran, Phantasma, Wedding People, and The Women by Kristen Hanna. All of these books, I believe, were excellent from my understanding. I have not read The Women yet. It is on my TBR. It's currently sitting on my shelf. I may touch upon it, maybe even not April. April's kind of my fantasy month, so potentially in May or June. It's supposed to be very beautifully written and very heavy, kind of circulating around the Vietnam War, I believe, and the women's roles during that time period. Kristen Hanna has a great creative skill of being able to talk about these very intense times in history and the role of women in them, and she does it very well. And so far I've only read one of her books, but it was very touching, it was very beautiful, and I do hope to read more of her books. So that was one of them. Phantasma was probably my pick on this list. It was my absolute favorite book of last year for the October season. And I got through that book so fast, and I'm definitely waiting for the secondary book written in this series called Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, The Women of Tehran. I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what that book is about, nor have I ever read it, nor do I know if I want to read it, but it was one of the other selections. Wedding People, I know is more of a contemporary fiction. It seemed a little intense for me, so I didn't end up going for it. And then the book that did end up winning is The God of the Woods. So here is the beautiful edition that they have created for this. So on the back of this, I don't know if you can see it as I move it up and down, but you can see the holographic, like slightly raised print of the title, the Lolly 2024 winner, which is great. It also has the beautiful Book of the Month seal dictating this as the Lolly winner as well on the front. And then on the sides, you have the beautiful painted edges that was specifically done for this year's Lolly winner. And this is currently on my reading list for the month of March. So I will be tackling this book at some point this month and sharing those reviews with you guys. So that gets the Lolly out of the way. That gets the overall idea of Book of the Month out of the way, and other products that you guys didn't really log on to or see out of the way. So let's talk about the actual book of the month selections that I made. So within the book of the month app, you have multiple different genres that are listed. You also have different like sections that you can go to see what books are being released. This is one of the books I selected for this year, for this month, and it's You Between the Lines. This book is basically about two individuals who have been in a rivalry ever since they've been in a prestigious fellowship for their writing. And throughout the course of the book, it's basically enemies to lover type of vibe. And I saw that this was one of the selections. So I ended up going for this year. This was actually not one of the selections for the month itself. It was in the add-on section. So like I was mentioning earlier, there are add-on sections within the different areas you can go to look for books on book of the month. And in that little clip, I kind of showed you guys that. There's also a section for like spotlight titles that they want you to see, where there might be other books being released by that same author, or there were books that are really popular that they wanted to bring into people's minds again. They also have a section dedicated to like debut authors, to various genres, and then of course you actually have the monthly selections for each month. So this happened to be one of the standalone reads that I ended up selecting off of the additional titles that were in the spotlight sale. Not the spotlight sale. No, in the spotlight sale. I'm sorry, guys. My brain is like fried today. The other book that I ended up picking up is another one that, I mean, look at that. That's beautiful. It's another book that was on the potential options, which is Water Moon. This book is very interesting to me. It's a fantasy novel. I'm going to read a brief synopsis for you guys so you know what it's about. On a back street in Tokyo lies a pawn shop, but not everyone can find it. Most will see a cozy ramen restaurant, and only the chosen ones, those who are lost, will find a place to pawn their life choices and deepest regrets. Hana Ishiwaka wakes on her first morning as the pawn owner's new owner to find it ransacked, the shop's most precious acquisition stolen, and her father missing. And then into the shop stumbles a charming stranger, quite unlike its other customers, for he offers help instead of seeking it. Together, they must journey through a mystical world to find Hannah's father and the stolen choice by way of rain puddles, rides on paper cranes, the bridge between midnight and morning, and a night market in the clouds. But as they get closer to the truth, Hannah must reveal a secret of her own and risk making a choice that she will never be able to take back. So I thought this one sounded so cool. It kind of reminds me, very reminiscent of When the Coffee Gets Cold, which is also by a Japanese author. And it was translated into English. And it's basically about this coffee shop where you can go in and revisit a moment from your past. You can't change the past per se, but you can definitely have a conversation in place of your past self with the specific moment in time and this person in order to, you know, redo the closure. And I thought that was very interesting, and I really enjoyed that book. And so when I saw this and kind of the vibes of this one, I thought this would be fun too. I also love me a little bit of fantasy, so I'm very excited to read Water Moon. Then next up in this set of books, this is the book that I chose for my book of the month, which is a thriller. It's called Count My Lies. I'm excited to read this because this is my thriller month. And so I was like 100% I want to do this. This is about a woman who ends up integrating herself into the life of some rich family and basically starts revealing their histories and their secrets. It says, "I'm here to help. I'm your friend. You can trust me. Sloane Caraway is a liar. Harmless lies mostly, to make her self-proclaimed sad little life a bit more interesting. So when Sloane sees a young girl in the tears at a park one afternoon, she can't help herself. She tells the girl, very attractive, Dad, she's a nurse, and helps him pull a bee stinger from the child's foot. With this lie and chance encounter, Sloane becomes the nanny for the wealthy and privileged household of Jay and Violet Lockhart, the perfect New York couple with a brownstone, a daughter in private school, and summers on Block Island. But maybe Sloane isn't the only one lying, and all the picture perfect harbors a much more dangerous truth. To say anything more is to spoil the most exciting, twisty, and bitingly smart suspense novel to come out in years. Careful what you lie for." And this kind of reminds me of First Lie Wins, and I really enjoyed that book when I read it last year. And it was also a thriller, kind of set in a similar scene. You have this woman who basically takes on different identities in order to gather information on, characters that have powerful backgrounds, and basically presents it to her boss, who is then able to take that information and use it for blackmailing purposes as needed to influence the world. So it's like a shadow organization that she's a part of, and she's infiltrated this man's life. This kind of reminds me of that vibe. I don't think it's going to be the same story or necessarily anything like it, but I like this idea of this hidden identity and this unraveling of secrets, and I just think it's going to be such a fun read, and I'm very excited to add it to my TBR for the month of March. So we'll see if we can get to that bad little puppy. Then I also picked another book from the March collection, which was Care and Feeding. I believe this is more of a memoir. Yes, it very clearly says that it's a memoir by Lori Woolever. Let me read the inside of this one. It just sounded quite fascinating to me. So, a candid, funny, and occasionally devastating memoir of a woman making her way through the food world, navigating addiction, a cultural reckoning, and an unexpected tragedy. In this moving, hilarious, and insightful memoir, Lori Woolever traces her path from a small-town childhood to working at revered restaurants and food publications while being alternatively bolstered and overshadowed by two of the most powerful men in the business, Mario Batali and Anthony Bourdain. But there's more to the story than the two bold-faced names on her resume. Behind the scenes, Lori's chaotic life is an often pleasurable buffet of bad decisions at which she tends to overstay her welcome. Wryly self-deprecating and acerbic, Lori attempts to carve out her own space as a woman in this world, which is, by turns, toxic and intoxicating. From a seedy Atlantic City strip club to the Park Hyatt Tokyo, from a hippie vegetarian co-op to the legendary El Bulli, Lori tries it all, while balancing her consuming work with her sometimes ambivalent relationship to marriage and motherhood. As the food world careens towards an overdue reckoning, and while Lori's mentors face their own high-profile descents, she is confronted with the question of where she belongs and how to hold on to the parts of her life's work that she truly values, care, and feeding. I just thought this sounds very fascinating. It kind of reminds me of Dinner with Vampires, and so that's actually why I wanted to read it too. I'm not a huge memoir girl, but I do prefer memoir as my preferred form of nonfiction. I think every once in a while, any kind of expose is also really interesting. So I really enjoyed Bad Blood, for example, and I really enjoyed the Uber expose as well. That one was very well written, but that's kind of like the vibes I go for with a nonfiction. It's very, very rare that I would pick up like anything self-helpy, because I find those to be very difficult for me to enjoy and read, even though some of them are very good. But in general, I really enjoy a good memoir. So altogether, that wraps up everything that came in the book of the month this month. And if any of those, were interesting to you or seemed exciting to you, then definitely leave me a comment below. Overall, I think this service is absolutely wonderful, and I think it's so great that for such a nominal price, you get beautiful hardbook bound books that are being delivered to your door that all look the same, aesthetically pleasing, but also you get a variety of different genres. There's a little bit of something for everyone at such a good price. So if that's something that's interesting to you, then definitely check it out. Also, don't forget, Book of the Month also has audio now, so you may choose to use your credit for an audiobook instead if you prefer to have that on your reading library rather than your physical TBR library. So something to consider as well. Once again, my name is Jaya. Thank you so much for being here. I put out books related to reading and just the love of anything books every Wednesday and Sunday, and I cannot wait to continue sharing this journey with you. For those that are new, if this seems like it's up your alley and you do love all things books, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell. For those of you that are returning, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for helping me build this reading community. It means the world to me, and I'm so excited to share this reading journey with you guys. Until the next one, I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.